All right, guys. So Chicago public schools is going super duper woke, unsurprisingly, honestly. As they are eliminating sex-specific restrooms to increase gender equity, right? And guys, I'm gonna tell you, this word equity might be my most hated word in the English vocabulary. Okay, it really is, right? Because they're doing this all in the name of that hated word. Okay. So without further ado, let's just play the video.
Hello everyone, I'm Cami Pratt, the District's Chief Title IX Officer.
And I'm Deb Spraggins, the District's Deputy Chief Title IX Officer. The new school year is off to a strong start as we've welcomed our students back to our school buildings 5 days each week.
On top of ensuring that each of our schools is a safe learning environment, we're also taking steps to create more inclusive and supportive schools. One change that will be implemented this school year relates to our school bathrooms. In compliance with new federal guidelines, all CPS students and staff will have fair and equitable access to bathroom facilities that align with their gender identity. We will be providing all schools with updated signage that makes our bathrooms more inclusive. It will identify the fixtures available in each restroom and make it clear that all restrooms are open for use by anyone who feels comfortable. Staff will continue to have staff-only restrooms available to them. This is an incredibly important step to increase gender equity for all, which is why we will be requiring all schools to post this signage by December 1st of this school year. Our district's Office of Student Protections and Title IX is also working on a long-term plan to create more permanent signage for our bathroom.
Yeah, so what could go wrong, guys? What in the world could go wrong with this little experiment that the Chicago public schools is doing, right? What could go wrong? It's almost as if they just didn't pay attention to what happened in Loudoun County, right? It's almost as if they just don't care, right? They simply don't care. And the most disturbing part of that video, guys, is the fact that a lot of the imagery in that video, they're using elementary school students, right? You know, 6, 7, 8-year-olds passing by these so-called gender neutral restrooms, right? And that's what really bothers me about it, because to me, in my opinion, it's psychological. Okay, you know, if a young child, right, they see that type of stuff, right, gender neutral restrooms, that subconsciously ingrains in them this gender ideology, this gender fluid ideology, right? It's subconscious. Even though, again, that's not something that I feel like most kids are thinking about or, you know, have had serious thoughts about. But now, again, it's subconsciously being ingrained in them because that's something they're experiencing on a day-to-day basis. And what I also find, you know, kind of crazy is how a lot of the signage is like, well, we want you to use whatever bathroom you're comfortable with, right? They talk about it as if it's all about being comfortable. Well, what about the comfort of the people who don't want somebody of the opposite sex using a bathroom with them, right? Like, what about the little girls who don't want boys using a bathroom with them? Does anybody care about their comfort, right? Does anybody care about that? Okay, that's the real question. Do you care about their comfort? Because those are the people that are going to be uncomfortable, okay? We're doing this policy. They're implementing this policy to try to appeal to a very, very, very small minority of people. I mean, we're talking about kids, right? Kids. Again, how many of these kids have went through this thought process and decided that, oh, you know, I'm transgender or whatever? I'm pretty sure almost none of them. But again, in my opinion, they're doing this as a way to psychologically get this ingrained in these kids at a young age, right? That's what it's about. So let's read a little bit more here. Chicago Public Schools is requiring all schools in the district to adopt new signage in an effort to make restrooms gender neutral. The initiative, which CPS is referring to as a big step forward for gender equity, requires the schools to display language outside of restrooms informing students whether they are male or female, that they may use the restroom that aligns with their gender identity. Again, what can go wrong, right? What could possibly go wrong with this experiment? We're requiring all schools to adopt new signage to make our restrooms more inclusive. CPS wrote in a tweet announcing the change. This is a big step forward for gender equity for our students and staff. You know, for the life of me, I don't understand why you can't just have common ground, okay, on these issues. Why is it that you just can't say, you know what, we'll take one of these bathrooms that we have for teachers and we'll just make that a gender neutral bathroom, right? Where it's like, okay, if you're like a trans student or whatever, here's your gender neutral bathroom. You don't necessarily have to use the bathroom that you're uncomfortable with. Here's your gender neutral bathroom, right? But leave the other bathrooms that boys and girls use unchanged, right? Leave them alone, right? Boys and girls should have the right to use the bathroom with people of their own sex. And for the life of me, I don't understand why is it that these people want to take away that right? You're going to make a lot more people uncomfortable than you are comfortable with this type of experiment, in my opinion. The move not only impacts school children, but also staff. All CPS students and staff will have fair and equitable access to bathroom facilities that align with their gender identity. CPS Title IX officer Cammie Pratt said of the change in a video shared to social media. Pratt said the signage will make it clear that all restrooms are open for use by anyone who feels comfortable. She also stated that the move is a step to increase gender equity for all. Well, I don't know, man. Maybe these people should actually be worried about things like, student achievement, right? Academics, okay? Things that are actually really going to help increase socio-economic mobility, right? And that's the problem, man. Again, the focus is never how do we help students actually achieve something in life. Everything now seems to be revolved around this concept of equity that, in my opinion, there's no evidence that things like this, right, gender neutral restrooms, is going to help any student achieve more academically or achieve socioeconomic mobility, right? Which that should be the goal. Socioeconomic mobility should be the goal. But again, that's not what we're talking about anymore. We're talking about gender and racial equity. It's insane. One example of a signage that will be displayed at school reads, "This is a gender neutral restroom with multiple stalls. It is open to users of any gender identity or expression." Pratt said the CPS Office of Student Protections and Title IX is working on a long-term plan to make the signage more permanent. Fox News reached out to the Office of Student Protections for Chicago Public Schools, but did not receive an immediate response. All right, so while that's happening in schools, public schools, elementary schools, high schools, middle schools in Chicago, we also have this happening in college, in a place that I'm very, very surprised by. Because it's a little close to home, right? What video shows tampon machine in college men's bathroom? It just won't stop. A viral video that appears to be taken at Western Carolina University shows a tampon dispenser in a male bathroom with a note saying the machine was paid for using student fees. Ridiculous. Western Carolina University utilizes student fees to fund tampons in the men's bathroom. The tweet, first posted by the Twitter account Libs of TikTok, said on Wednesday. All right, so let's watch this video. A tampon machine in the men's bathroom, paid for with student fees, bruh. Where you gonna put that thing, right? Where are you gonna put it? Okay. Now I guess that will make a good makeshift earplugs if you go into the gun range or something like that. But seriously, where is a man going to put a tampon? Like, how is he going to use it? Right? It's insane, man. It's insane. In the 14-second video, a sign can be seen on the tampon dispenser claims the machine was there as a part of a pilot program for the Students Division of Student Affairs. The resources from this pilot are student fees and auxiliary operation funds, the sign says. Along with the majority of the student body, feel this is an absolute waste of our resources. The school shows no initiative in showing how much of our money has been spent on items like this, and that bothers me greatly. The student who filmed the video told Fox News Digital, "We feel like the forced need to be inclusive on campus is getting in the way of real progress that can be made in other areas that can actually have positive change," the student added. A spokesperson for the university told Fox News Digital he is looking into the matter. In 2019, the American Civil Liberties Union is calling for men's restrooms to include tampons in order to prevent discrimination against every person who menstruates. Well, I mean, listen, according to Whoopi Goldberg, men don't do that.
Do any of you men have any eggs or the possibility of carrying a fetus? How dare you talk about what a fetus wants?
While free menstrual products are not uniformly provided in women's restrooms, they are almost never available in men's restrooms, even for pay, the group said in a statement. Men's restrooms are also less likely to have a place to dispose of these products conveniently, privately, and hygienically. Anyways, guys, yeah, more woke nonsense from these public schools and these colleges. I'm surprised you see something like this at Western Carolina University. If I was a student there, yeah, I would be like, no, my student fees cannot go towards stuff like this. That might be something that's actually worth protesting about, right? It might be something that's actually worth protesting about, because that is a waste of money. You pay way too much money to go to college to pay for stuff like that. It's already bad enough you're paying for a bunch of stuff you don't need, right? That is just like the icing on the cake, right? That might be the actual final straw for me, right? If I was a student on campus. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share. A Black conservative perspective. Peace.